Hi, good evening, everybody. 6 p.m. as promised, another show, another conversation, all about community leadership. Today I've got two wonderful guests, Farah Ahmed and Saiba Salam, who are going to join me relatively soon. We're going to be talking all things community, but just to give you a nutshell why I do this. So I started these live shows once a fortnight, live on LinkedIn and YouTube, simply because I saw it as a way to encourage more people in the community to talk about community leadership and share some of their own journeys and stories. And we've had some great guests so far. My youngest guest, only 18 years old, and he left some amazing advice and tips and hugely inspiring, Gabriel. I have you guests lined up for the next sort of 2 months. Ed, great to have you join us today. Hello. This is new for both my guests. It's quite sort of unusual to be live and actually you don't know who's watching. So I'd be grateful. Anybody watching, please say hello. Send us a message. Tell us where you're listening from, which part of the world. And, going to be live after the show. It will be on my profile. So anybody could actually go on my profile and listen if you miss out. Equally, I've now got a YouTube channel. Don't ask me why I'm doing all this. I know I have a calling and I must listen. So I also have a YouTube channel and you can listen to wonderful stories on YouTube as well. Hi, I can see Ria. Great to see you, have you on board. And Franzi, my wonderful connections have joined me today. Lovely ladies as well. I'm going to, without much delay, bring in both my guests just to give you a short intro. So both ladies are the women that are on the firing line, in the front line of a local community initiative called Waltham Women's Network. An amazing organization. It's been for all these years, quite primarily volunteer-led. And I have to say that I have been involved and sort of been part of the network for a few months. And what is every single woman on that network brings huge value and they are doing amazing things in the community. But I am just really, really interested today to speak to these two ladies, Farah and Saiba. I'm going to introduce them and do a wonderful conversation. Hi, Farah.
Hi, Manwara. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi, Saiba. I'm going to try and... this is better.
That's better. Yeah.
Yeah. Hello. How are you, ladies?
Good, thanks.
We're good. We're good. Thank God we got on. It's the first time I've done this.
Yeah. Had slight technical problems just before, but all good now.
Yeah, and a wonderful example of leadership as well. Like, you don't have to necessarily have done anything before. You still jump in, which is an example of why you are in the role that you are. So introduce yourselves, please. Tell us a little bit about your background and introduce yourself, Farah.
Hi, everyone. My name is Farah Ahmed. I am chair of Waltham Forest Women's Network, and I've been part of Waltham Forest Women's Network for about 11 years now. And yes, as a volunteer, same as Saiba. And I kind of fell in love with the organization, really. My background is in science, medical research, mental health. I used to be a teacher as well. So I like doing different things, and I feel like I can bring all that knowledge and expertise and everything into, helping people. So that's what I love to do. I'm a part-time social prescriber in Waltham Forest as well. And so is Saiba, and she'll tell you all about that.
Saiba. Thank you, Farah.
Okay.
Tell us about.
Hi. Right, so I'm vice chair of Waltham Women's Network. My background is psychology and mental health. I used to be an ESOL teacher as well, a bit of an artist as well. I try when I can. What else? I think that's it. Mum of 3, busy, but give anything a go. Give anything a go, basically.
Okay, I'm going to do something really unusual and start off with a really fun question. If you could have any superpower, what would it be? Who wants to go first?
That's a really good one.
Go on.
Any superpower? Gosh, you've stumped me there. Any superpower? I am a superwoman as it is. I don't need a superpower.
Oh, that's a good one, Saiba. Yeah, all right. Okay. You're a superwoman.
Well, I could start with something. I would say if I had a choice and I could have a superpower, that for me would be invisibility. Hi, Hibo. Hibo's joined us as well.
Hey, Hibo.
Hi, Hibo. Really good to have you here. Peacemaker. Franzi said peacemaker.
That's a good one. I like that. That's all rounder.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do this question right at the end, Farah, Saiba, because it give you some time to think about
We'll
it.
have a think.
I'm thinking now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My superpower, if I could have one, would be invisible. So, if I could inject, like, really not be there or be visible, but do whatever I need to do, that fancy, I'd join, be invisible. And that's the grain of what I believe in, because I'm part of the Visible Women, a wonderful system that started on this platform, actually, on LinkedIn, started by the founding member, Mildred Talabi. And so I do believe in visibility, but it would just be so fascinating to be in places and not be seen and see everything. That's all. But yeah, Hibo says to be psychic, to read people's mind.
Do you really want to read people's minds, Hibo? What if they're thinking really bad things?
Don't want to. Oh, no. You don't want to read my mind, trust me.
Don't read Saiba's mind. Don't do it.
Ladies, I'm going to ask you a question around your sort of journey. You do amazing volunteering in Waltham Forest, probably something you've been doing for years. So how did it, maybe start off with you, Farah, when did you first start volunteering? What age, do you remember?
I've always volunteered. I think it's always been in my family. It's been ingrained in us that, we need to help others. We get a lot of pleasure out of it. And I think it's never come out of my blood. If I stop helping people, I kind of feel like a bit lost and I lose that purpose. So I was young. Oh gosh, 10 years old, maybe younger, where my mom used to cook a lot and feed people. And every week we used to have to, put our books to the side and help her cook. And then it was such a wonderful sense of kind of like I'm helping people who really need it right now, even that forming a support network with other people. I was 18 when I was looking after an old person, myself. And then, I don't know, our family network is kind of helping that way where we're always helping others. I've always done voluntary work, even after I've had my children, when I've been pregnant. Baby in one hand, pushchair in another, and then doing outreach. Love it.
Hibo has put a really lovely message. Amazing, is an absolute hero. Amazing woman that I call my sister. Lovely. Such a wonderful message. Thank you, Hibo. I'm sure Farah now knows, if she was never aware, that she's your hero. But yeah, so isn't it interesting how, like, you've always volunteered and you're still volunteering, but you also have your paid job as well. So, like, if I were asking you the same question, Saiba, how far back would you go to when you were volunteering? volunteering?
I think it's the same, when you were young, you're always encouraged to help everyone. And even if, I remember going to like events with my mum and dad and then them saying, you help with the, even, I mean, in the olden days, you had weddings on plastic plates and no waiters, and we'd all have to chip in and help with serving and all that kind of thing. And actually, when I went at college, I remember we were always encouraged to do something extra. And I remember going to an old people's home and really like just chatting to the old people. And, you get a satisfaction out of, doing something when you feel good when you're helping others. And it's just carried on, really, Well, and I also finding it hard to say no probably is another thing where you end up saying, okay, I don't mind. But then sometimes it's nice, just,
it is interesting. A lot of giving is a very large part of volunteering, because I found that most people that do volunteering are people that are very big and believe strongly about giving back. But those people also find it hard sometimes to say no, and it affects their own well-being. And those also are the type of people that don't ask for help.
Yeah.
Do you?
I think in the last few years I've learned how to say no now, because I really value my own space and that self-care and all that. So now I don't feel guilty if I can't do it. I'm in a meeting, babe. Sorry, that's my son. Then I'll just say no and I'll be fine. And I've even encouraged others to say, you know what, if you can't do it, just say no. It's okay to say no.
It doesn't.
Just having that balance,
What about you, Farah? Tell us about your journey with volunteering. We know a lot about that as well. We just recently found out.
Okay, tell me what you found out.
Well, the
missing gaps.
Well, when you just suddenly said, I want to join the committee and I'm going to help you, and the amount of work you did for us, I was actually in shock. And you were like, don't tell anyone. And you do it behind the scenes. That's what I love about you, because you were like, I remember being on the phone with you 2 hours at a time when you're in the middle of like getting on with your own life, but you're like, okay, Farah, yep, you can do this. We'll be on the phone for 2 hours. And I'm like, this person just gave me 2 hours of her day. Yeah. 2 hours is a long time. And to inspire others, I mean, I think you do a lot behind the scenes and you don't say it. So
I think it's gone too public lately during the pandemic. But I guess you're right. My thinking and my way of looking at the world has changed a lot. Hibo, you're really making me laugh. She says the secret is out now. But it's the whole thing about self-care. It's what you said. You touched upon it, Saiba. If we are more often, sometimes we self-conscious about how much we can do, and I guess it's my way of protecting myself, because I've been volunteering since I was little, and my first proper sort of job was when I was 17, and I was a chair by the age of 20 of a charity, holding down my law degree as well as, and then I had a sick mother I looked after. There was a lot going on. So I guess over the years, I've always juggled. And I do personally believe that what we do in the community and what we do as volunteering is what we do because it's what makes us glow. It gives us that joy. So we do it. I have to say, personally, I think my job gives me joy. Yeah. And in this particular job, what I'm doing right now, it feels like I'm doing a lot of what I enjoy doing within my job. So and I know I'm really privileged in that and blessed, because not a lot of people can say that. And I can say I enjoy my job. I love my job. I love the people I work with. I love the community I work in. But then you have to protect yourself. And Saiba, trying to create that balance means you don't always say yes. And sometimes You know this, a couple of days ago, I put a message, a few days ago, I put a message where I said I was really tired and I wanted a break. But most people weren't actually not working because I didn't want anyone to know. I just wanted to do nothing. And that's okay too. Sometimes it's okay to do nothing. It doesn't make us a bad person.
I think that with my job as well, and now I've learned how to do this, that self-care, yes, it is important. But I've now with social prescribing, I've got to know how other people can possibly help. It doesn't have to be me, you know. Why does it have to be me? It's that guilt that gets you. Oh gosh, I said no to that person. I'm such a bad person for saying no. But actually, hold on a minute. I didn't say no. I said, oh, hold on. I've got these other people that do this. Would you like to, you know? And that's a nicer way, I guess. That's
delegating. Yeah, that's important. Delegating, so important.
Delegating, signposting, whatever you want to call it. Just say, oh, there's this person who does this. And you might want to go to them. You know, make sure the support network is everywhere, not just with you. It can put a lot of stress on you. And that does happen even if you're volunteering. Yeah.
What have you found the most challenging, you know, just generally in the 11 years that you've been involved in Waltham Forest Women's Network?
What have I found challenging?
Yeah, the most challenging aspect of leading I mean, I know that sometimes the role is a scary thing. It's a huge responsibility. Go on,
I
Saiba.
say believing in myself, and that having that self-doubt and overcoming those fears and thoughts, because I'm same as Farah, I've been there for 11 years, never imagined I'd be vice chair. I was like, no, I'm never going to be vice chair, never. I would never believe that ever in the last few years. And then I think it was like in the last few months, I was like, you know what, I'm going to give it a go. But thinking, no, I'm not capable, and fighting those own thoughts that I have of myself, and overcoming that, I think, and then pushing myself forward and saying, you know what, I'm going to give it a go. And even if I make mistakes, I'm going to learn from those mistakes, but I'm just going to do it. I'm going to challenge myself and I'm just going to do it, you know. And if I need help, and another thing is we support each other a lot. Me and Farah definitely that's there, you know. So that's why I think it works so well. And even the other committee members, we have some amazing committee members, and it's all about us all empowering each other and uplifting each other at the same time.
You know, you said,
and I think,
go on, Farah.
I was going to say, and the fact that the women that we have, we champion each other, and we actually push each other and say, look, do it. You're not going to fail, because we're here to catch you fall, and we're here to support you. Like, you know, for instance, I mean, Sharon became our champion from the point that we joined, and Nadia, who was chair at the time. And, you know, these women were like there to push us, even past that point where you're feeling really uncomfortable, like, oh, I really don't want to stand up and do a speech. I really don't. But when you actually do it and you feel like, oh my God, that was such a buzz. Totally. Like even now doing this live thing, when I was like, I want you to do this live thing, I was like, oh no, do I have to? I hate it. But once you've done it, you're like, oh, actually, that makes me feel so good. I got really nice comments, and, you know, I would watch that back.
Yeah.
So,
and you kind of think, yeah, I can do it. You know, after you've done it, you can do it. And like now, I wasn't that nervous, but in the past, I would, oh my God, what am I going to say? Overthinking, and do it. Be me and see how it goes.
Mm.
That's the thing. There can only be one Saiba, and they can only be.
You know it, girl. You know it.
we don't want anybody else to be you. You know, and that is really hard to believe in your uniqueness and to actually, you know, let it flow outside of you, because you will have lots of people saying lots of things, but some of the from the around delegation. He both says you are amazing, so I don't ever help. Now I felt that when I met you, because I thought, oh, this is so much potential, you know. And you actually, both of you picked on something, and I want to ask you a question around it. But you know, everyone talks about courage. Saiba, you said that like you didn't feel it, and you felt like the letters were inside you, you know, your own self-critique, and what friends, connections on LinkedIn would say, the hag in the attic, the one inside your head that tells you you're not capable.
Yeah.
And people say, well, courage is inside you, it just needs to come out. But then you, because you feel supported, you
Yeah.
know, that helped with your courage. So Farah talked about support, and you mentioned Sharon Hanuman. She was the founding member, wasn't she?
She was a founding member, yeah.
So
She's helped us on. She helped us on our journey, because she was in behind the scenes, like, Farah, why don't you try it like this? You know, stuff that you did with us as well, Manwara. And so she was like, oh, Farah, you know, do you need help with that? I'll help you with it, you know. And she would never tell anyone. So it made everyone think that, oh, Farah's doing a really, you know, fantastic job. In the beginning, you need that because you're not sure. And this person's been there before you, and they know how it should be. So if they're there and they've, you know, supported you in that way, you will do it on your own. It's like taking the scaffolding away slowly, taking that scaffolding away and letting you walk by yourself in a way, like you do feel like, yeah, you know what, I can do it by myself. I know what to do now. Like applying for grants, I would like no way want to be doing application for grants, and now I'm like, do you know what, I can do it. I think I can do it because, you know, Manwara's told us how to do it. She let me have a go, and we got the grant, and it's like, oh my god, you know.
Yeah.
And it's okay to fail as well. If we didn't get the grant, it's not the end of the world. It happens. So yeah, she did support us, and you know, we're social prescribers now because the skills were seen in what we were doing in our voluntary work. And you know, when there's job applications going, it's like, oh, you'd be really good for this job. Why don't you go for this job? You guys have got these skills. So me and Saiba both went for it, and we both got it. Even with the job we had previously, we both went for it. We both got it. It's like we're this dastardly duo, really.
Double trouble.
Double trouble. We're double trouble.
Yeah, isn't it fascinating when because people often will say, oh, you know, how do you work so well? How does Waltham Forest Women's Network work so fast? And for me, one of my learnings have always been through my journey is the longer you get to know people, the more the relationship grows and trust grows between people. More about each other's strengths and weaknesses, and most of the decisions then are much better. And you know what, failure is just a learning. You know, you have to make mistakes, learn. You will never ever be able to do something perfectly right, ever.
Yeah.
So yeah, and so if you were looking at somebody said, one of my lovely contacts, Ria, says, love it, double trouble, both beautiful ladies. Yeah. Dynamic duo. But you know, you ladies, you talk about social prescribing and what you do, and you talk about and you talk about all the amazing, how you feel like supported by the people before you. But there was a time when you didn't really want to do it. You didn't want to take that main title role. What was it that caused the fear? I know you said you had thought in your head, but what do you see in that title or that role that causes you to feel like, no, I don't want it?
Well, I mean, with me, it's about not letting anyone down if I do it, because I am a bit of a perfectionist and I want to do it properly. So yeah, the other thing that if I can't do it properly, then I don't want to do it, you know, that kind of thing. And then you think, and looking at everyone else thinking, oh, wow, she's amazing. Look what she's done. And then it's that thing about that self-belief again, which I'm slowly, you know, I've managed to battle. Even now, I mean, Sharon, this was was it last week, Farah? She asked us to speak at another event. And this was like a live one. And it was like, oh, gosh, you know. So part of you is like, oh, no. But then it's kind of like, you want to succeed. You want to do it. And you think, go on then. And then afterwards, you're so glad that you did do it. And you kind of think, you know what, I can do it. And just reminding yourself, you know what, I can do it. Even though I might have stumbled a little bit, I managed it to say what I wanted to say, and that's good, all good. And now look at me, you know, it's like, yeah, another live, yeah, go on then. I think it was the first one that I did with, when we did the thing with Rosie Nixon and Hibbo.
Hello Magazine, and thanks to Hibbo, yeah.
On FGM, and oh God, I was so nervous. And I was doing all the technical stuff as well at that time. So it was like, oh my God, you know, everyone, the kids were like, right, get off your gadgets now. only on the TV, nothing else. Nothing's going to go wrong with the internet. He's going live on YouTube. And then I was so nervous, finally did it. And now it's like, okay, go on then, I'll join,
That was
So
thanks to Hibbo, actually, that she kind of pushed us in the deep end, where she was like, right, I've got Hello Magazine involved now. You ladies, I know you ladies can do it. And we're like, Hibbo, are you sure? I don't think, I'm not very confident about this. And she's like, no, you guys can do it. And I look at her and I think, yeah, Hibbo can do it. We can do it. She's telling us we can do it. And everybody says we can. Everyone makes mistakes. We need to realize that we're only human. And hiccups will happen. You just have to own up to it. Say, oh, sorry, Zoom wasn't working again. Or I forgot to unmute myself. Make a joke of it. Humor gets you out of many situations. I think that, and we are human. I always say that, look, I'm not a robot and I'm not perfect and I will make mistakes and I can't do everything, And
I think that's really important for our children to see as well, our daughters, that that we're not perfect and that we can make mistakes, but we're giving it a go. So that's why sometimes I'll push myself. I think I've got young ones looking at me. I need to make sure that I'm setting a good example and not putting too much pressure on myself as well.
We've got Ruqayya who's joined us as well, and she's one of our youngest people to have joined WFWN. She was 19, she's 20 now, but she was 19 when she joined, a uni student. To inspire the young is one of the biggest things, and I know you'll agree with me, Manwara, but hopefully we'll pass on the baton to the youngsters. It's not about us being in this role for long, it's about making sure that the needs in the community are being met, and we are inspiring the young as well, and making sure we're saying you can do it. It's not just about age. Age has nothing to do with it. You're young, but you're so knowledgeable, so clever. You've got the network. You've got, you've organized 2 events for us that were amazing success online, so you can do it as well.
Yeah, no, lovely to see you here as well, Ruqayya. Glad you could join us. And you mentioned Hibbo's the fact that she actually gave you a lot of courage through the support, and she obviously sees potential in you, and she saw it from the beginning. And I was actually watching live when you did that show, so impressed, so touched, but I worry. I'd love to have Hibbo in one of these shows, but what worries me more than anything is she's gonna make me cry.
I'm just gonna say that word she loves to say.
I just that's what really freaks me out, that Hibbo is gonna come live and she's gonna say some things that I know. She's an amazing speaker. I've heard her several times. I've always been touched emotionally at a very deep level. So that probably is one of my fears. But Maria's just joined us as well. Maria's going to be interviewed soon. She is on the lineup. And it's Ruqayya says it's an honor to work with you brilliant ladies. Maria says you guys have paved the way. We are going to be the ones to maintain it. Fabulous. I love that, Maria. Thank you. Thank you. We can retire, ladies.
That's it. I'm off. See you later. Who wants to take over?
I'm off to the Bahamas. Who's coming with me?
I'll join you.
As long as it's not on the red list, I'll come with you.
Oh yeah, I think it might be on amber actually. Let's wait.
Of course. But yeah, so I have to personally, I just go back to that thing about not wanting to let people down. And I guess that is one of the reasons why sometimes I may not join a volunteering role. And I guess part of the reason why I said when I was involved in Waltham Forest Women's Network, don't get me too involved, because I feel such a great sense of responsibility sometimes. I feel like I don't want to let people down. And for that reason, I think my skills, I was only there to offer my skills or whatever I can to add some value, just like all the other women that are part of the network. But then I also feel there's lots of other initiatives there that I could go and help as well. But, people's reasons are different. If you've been doing something for 30 years on and off, you don't at this point in time, you don't do it because you need it on your CV. You do it because you want to. And this is the joy of volunteering. I mean, what little I've heard about Ruqayyah, for a 20-year-old, she really does stretch herself left, right, center, and she does amazing things. And, you know, I'm so impressed by her, and I know she will go very, very far. And I can't wait to have her also talking one day soon on this platform. But, you know, it's amazing that like so many women do it, but they do it because they want to. If Ruqayyah didn't feel that she was adding value, surely she wouldn't be a part of Waltham Forest Women's Network.
Yeah.
And another thing I just wanted to highlight is, you know, we've probably got the only women's group in Waltham Forest that is a proper network and that is doing things and, you know, on a yearly basis. But often a lot of women are like, oh, how can you be part of a women's group? Like, how do you do it? You know, doesn't it get on your nerves? Or how do you manage women? And I don't like that. I don't like that comment, because a lot of the women that do help and are part of our network are not like that. And it's important that we get out of that negative mindset that women are like this. We are not like this. We are not programmed like this. It's just circumstances can make us think a bit differently. But we need to make sure the network that we have is a positive one. And we do try and rephrase things. And, you know, we're only human. But another thing is like, oh, it's a women's only group. Oh, gosh, how do you do it? And why do you do it? Because women are amazing. Look at the things that we do. I mean, Hiba, Ruqayyah, all these women that are on board, Manwara, Saiba, the things that we've done in our community, you know, imagine every single woman out there doing their full potential. I don't think we are working at our full potential, but, you know, we're there to inspire and try to be positive, and that's what we try and emulate, if you like.
I think that's why it works so well, because our ethos is about empowerment and uplifting each other, so that we do that with each other as well. And so long as we're and kind of egos that goes out the window, and it's all about helping each other and making that work, and the bigger picture. Because as women, we do go through so many things, so many inequalities and tests in life, and so it's a space. And then you see that with our larger events as well, where, say, for example, the International Women's Day just before the pandemic, and it was literally just a dinner and dance. It was a lot of hard work, I have to say, but it was so nice for so many women just to let their hair down and have some fun, have some good food, have a good dance, and just, you know, enjoy themselves. And that's, and in a minute, baby, I'm coming, okay? Sorry.
Okay. It's all right. Now, I'm just really grateful, Saiba, that you were able to join today, because I know it was really short notice. But yeah, it is everything you say, you know, and that's really interesting, because women's organization or women-only organizations can often be at risk of being accused of radicalization, you know, and they can be, politics could end up coming into play when actually that's nothing what your organization is about. It's nowhere near what you intend to achieve, you know. It's a platform for local women, you know, anybody and everybody can get involved.
Exactly.
So how would you, and this is a tough question, but I just want to hear how you know, personally deal. How do you navigate around politics? Because, and when I say that, let me break that question down. So in basic words, when you are surrounded by lots of people with different opinions and beliefs, and you all come from hugely diverse backgrounds, you're naturally going to have different views about things. How do you navigate yourself around the politics? The views.
I mean, well, we're very, very careful, even with like our social media. We're like, okay, that's a bit political. We best stay away from it and not share it, that kind of thing, because we want it all to be positive, and, you know, we have to be careful when it comes to anything that's political. As a one-to-one, I think it's learning how to agree to disagree on certain things, but the main thing is that we're supporting women in Waltham Forest, you know, female-owned businesses, you know, events that are for women, you know, all that kind of thing. And that's the main thing that we will look at, how we can empower other women and support them. And keep it, if you simplify it that much, then the politics doesn't get, it's okay, because everybody agrees to do that, you know. Why wouldn't you? It's all positives in that way.
Yeah, and as a chair, I'm not really supposed to have an opinion. So like, we have a WhatsApp group, and I always say, well, how does everyone feel about this post? So if it's a social media post, someone might be like, oh, I'm not sure if I should share this. So we ask the committee so that no one's offended or says, oh, well, it could be taken in this way, but it could be taken in that way. But because it's affecting women, I think we should, you know, I think we should share it because it's a women's issue. So we have a strong constitution. We make sure our constitution covers any grey area, and if it's anything in between, we'll say, well, this doesn't really fit into our constitution or what we're about, so maybe we just don't share that on our WFWN platform, but maybe on a personal platform, if you want to share it, that's fine. But exactly. You know, and the fact that we need to learn that we have to respect each other, everybody's beliefs, everybody's backgrounds. We don't know what that person's been through. We know this as women, there's certain things we don't share. So, you know, we don't like to judge or have assumptions. So sometimes I'll have a one-to-one with someone on the WhatsApp group on the side and be like, oh, you said something about this. How are you feeling about it? And what do you think? So it will be a one-to-one chat rather than a whole group chat. So it doesn't get everybody's comments on it. Sometimes that's the best way. So we've got rules. We say, please don't say anything that is really going to be personal to anyone on there. We have our group rules. And if it is, I'll just kind of police it a little bit. And I'll be like, oh, no, we can't say that.
You know, it's wonderful. It's wonderful that you have those boundaries in place. And it's so important that leadership sets the boundaries. Because, you know, like I can see now, like why, you know, your organization, your group works so well, because you have that shared understanding and a democratic way of working. I think, if I must use any political language at all, democratic way of you know, sort of going about things. And it does make a difference, doesn't it? Because we're always going to be at risk when we're running a voluntary organization, that people will accuse us of, you know, personal sort of aligning to personal beliefs. We're all at risk. I mean, even in my paid role, in my professional role, I'm at risk of that. You know, I'm not a particular political party supporter, but I believe if it's an issue about a woman or about a local resident, something that I support, it shouldn't matter what that individual's political beliefs might be. It shouldn't make any difference. But yeah, it's really interesting. And thank you for being so honest and open about it, Farah, because you shared something that most people probably wouldn't. But I hope that it's been enlightening for anyone who's heard you talk about it, because I think that's inspiring, especially for other people that have maybe thought about setting up their own group, or has been something on the back burner they've always wanted to do, but like been really worried about how do I go about doing this. And actually, another woman who runs a community group asked me that question a year ago. Manwara, how do you navigate your way around politics? She said. I said, I don't know, I just do it.
Well, Hiba has already put a comment up. Hiba loves something. She just wants to dance through the politics and dance through the controversy. I should be like, forget the fighting, let's dance. I mean, we don't need words for that. So it doesn't matter what background, what religion, whatever you're from, dancing fixes everything.
Yeah, no, Hiba, we can organize a dance event very soon if you want. Give us a date. Tell us when you want to do it, and I'll find you a venue. And then Farah and Saiba and the rest of the women's network.
Let's do it.
Oh, I'm going to shamelessly plug something now because we're doing something with Hibbo. It's our AGM on the 24th of September, Friday evening at 6 p.m. We've got amazing speakers. We've got the female Madam Mayor, Liz Baptiste. We've got Councillor Grace Williams, who is the new leader of the council. We've got Katie Thompson, leader of Street Base, and all the and Manwara. And we've got Manwara is going to be speaking.
You didn't give me a choice.
Yeah, exactly. So you have to do it. Yeah, she didn't have a chance to say no, everyone. She said yes straight away. So yeah, hopefully that will be a good one. And that's with Hibbo. And
very exciting. It sounds very exciting, and I shall not miss it for the world. I had every intention to be at your AGM to support you ladies, but obviously the way your plans sound amazing. Don't give too much away, but I hope that both you ladies will be a little bit more active on LinkedIn. It's an amazing platform. LinkedIn is not paying to advertise for them, but it's an amazing platform. And you talk about support, and in a way Waltham Forest Women's Network has created a huge support network for a lot of women in the borough of Waltham Forest. For me, LinkedIn has created a huge female support network that is global. So I've got Ria here, who is a photographer. She's an expert on photography, and I've always looking at her posts and inspired by posts, and I think likewise. And she's put a really nice comment about enjoying this conversation so much, and so many important tips I can take away for my little community of ladies in South Africa. Thank you so much. See how it feels now. That comment alone, thank you Ria, makes me realize that I'm making a difference, and it's far more wider in terms of the ripple effect, because somebody in South Africa is listening, and you ladies are giving them a lot of thinking that they to take away, and they might actually go and implement in their work. So this is why being on this platform is so inspiring. I know that he's a superwoman on social media, because I see her on Twitter and how she deals with the most horrible comments that she gets. Actually, she's got fighters. She doesn't even have to deal with them anymore. But yeah, it's really, really interesting. I would say both you ladies in the days to come say a bit more, share a bit more that's coming up, because it sounds really exciting. And even if you're an advanced event, make sure you are sharing via LinkedIn. There's a lot of people that live in Waltham Forest that I connected via LinkedIn ahead of my neighbour.
So our last event sold out in 6 days. It was quite amazing. But yeah, it gets crazy, but we will definitely be sharing. Hello, can you hear me?
Can hear you. Sorry,
it's raining here, so it's really bad reception, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Manwara's frozen.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. So, sorry, whoever's listening to us just had a little internet. It's probably to do with the weather, but I think we're back. I'm just going to finish off the last couple of minutes or so. What do you ladies want to give away for anybody who wants to do something in their community, any part of the world where they want to set up something similar like the Women's Network? What are the tips that you would give?
I mean, Farah as a chair, she's really good at asking other members to do things without being bossy. That's really important. With all of us, like not having an ego is really important, but also letting other people doing things and not thinking, I need to control everything. I need to make sure everything's okay. And even if another member makes a slight mistake, whatever, that's fine too, because we're all learning. In the same way that years back, I would never imagine I'd be, vice chair. And then it's helping others to believe in themselves as well, which is really important.
Brilliant. That's gold dust, Saiba. Thank you Farah?
On a more practical level, I would say that it's okay to start small. So even setting up something like a WhatsApp support group, start off small, certain women that are doers, and then once you've got you're starting to do smaller events, you just build that relationship with those women first. Build that relationship, that respect, the ground rules. Really have that concrete foundation before you start saying, oh, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. Don't do anything if you haven't got that proper support network that is not, respectful of you and respectful of each other. So I think that's important as well. Start off small and build up slowly if you've got a women's organization in mind or you want to do something with women.
No, that's really valuable tip and an important one, Farah, because we never sometimes get started because we are trying to perfect, and so it never happens. And Hibo's just made a comment about, as an activist or volunteer, never give or never get discouraged at all. The struggle you face will always build you up. And that is so true. Like, think about everything you've been through in the last 11 years, in the work that you've done, what I've been through most of my life, in terms of volunteering, also in my career, where I have developed courage in myself. But it takes a lot of willpower and a lot of backbone sometimes to start something within the community. The scariest thought being that, if I do this, am I alone? And for me, the key is, are other people wanting to do this too? If other people are interested and passionate about doing something, then I'm not afraid of putting myself in the firing line, because if I don't, it may never happen. Or if I can encourage somebody else by giving them a little bit of that uplift, like you said, Farah, that empowerment. And this is why I do all the mentoring. So I do mentoring for other organizations as well. But like, if I tell you everything I do, you will start to question when do I sleep and when do I eat? And this is why I don't, because I do whatever makes me feel happy. I don't do it because I need more money, or I do it because I need a name. So, and I know this is what I felt really, really about both of you ladies. You were afraid of taking the title, but you were already doing it.
I remember you saying that, and that's the thing. We are doing hours and hours of work, but because we believe in it, we don't get paid for anything. We don't benefit from it in any way, financially or anything like that. But it's knowing that we're bringing the community together, and that, we can help other local women, and the power that has, how special that really is, and that we all need that uplifting, So if and it's a blessing in a way that if you've been put in that position and a responsibility, then you are going to just do your best.
Yeah, absolutely. And young women like Maria and Tasnim and Ruqayya do need to see women like us as role models. And that I know that one of my connections, Franzi, earlier said, oh, Munwara, that's not good, you being invisible, because that goes the opposite. But we're brought up that way, to be humble. And this is why I decided I'm not going to be invisible anymore, because I keep up. How can I tell you or anybody else you need to be visible when I can't do it myself? Actions must speak. So we are acting in the way that we think and the way that we say things, which is brilliant. And I think ultimately we grow inside us.
Definitely. I mean, if I look back to the first time it was an International Women's Day and I had to speak in front of 300 women, and the nerves, and I was like, oh my God, what have I got myself into? Oh no, I was saying to Farah as well, at the same time she had to speak as well. And the buzz that I got after that I did it, it was like, oh yeah, I can do it. Because it was just like, oh my God, and I actually spoke, and it felt good. Holding that microphone and talking felt really good.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, us women like to talk. Why not?
Yes.
And we're always told not to like get praised and stuff like that. We have to be humble, like you said already, Manwara, that we should just do it on the quiet, and it's expected of us. We are expected to be doing everything and juggling everything, and that's a normal woman's job. But no, actually, what's wrong with someone saying, oh my God, you did that, that is amazing, well done? Why can't we take it? Why is it so hard for us to take that comment or a positivity? Why? I always found that quite bizarre. But I was always like this. I think still I'm a bit uncomfortable when someone says, oh, well done, you did that, and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
We have to be able to take it as well and say, okay, yes, I did that. I did something good, and it's all right. I'm not being arrogant. That arrogance and humbleness is like this. It's not just one or the other, is it?
No, it's about what Saiba said before, finding the balance, which, like we're going to spend our entire lifetime, I guess, just trying to find the balance. And it's never going to be perfect, but it's actually not how others judge us. It's how we judge ourselves that causes the barriers.
Yeah, I think that's what it is with me. I've been in the past, I've always been so self-critical in every way, in the way I'm talking, in the way I look, in everything. And I've learned to overcome that. And it's been huge in my own journey. I've done it, so it's even now we all have those doubts, but that voice it's much quieter than it used to be.
That's good. That's good. Because Farah and I will come with boxing gloves and knock it out.
I'm ready. Well, she was saying she found it hard to take compliments, but yeah, it is. As women, sometimes we're like, oh God, we're getting a compliment. Oh no, don't do it. But we should take a compliment. Why not? We deserve it.
Yeah, I've always found it hard to take a compliment because I've always seen how it's never been me alone.
Yeah.
I may have been the person that took the first step, but I always find that for me to get from A to B, I can never get there on my own. So whenever I'm giving that compliment, the critique inside me feels like, oh no, it's not just me though. I need to highlight all the other people in my journey, and that's what makes it hard for me personally anyway. But I think I have learned the hard way, like, because I used to just think I can do everything on my own.
Yeah.
Especially in my previous jobs, because I never really had proper support. But then in this job, it's like my team are like, Manwara, go and put your feet up, or Manwara, you don't need to do that. Leave that with us. And I'm like, but you lot are making me retired and redundant. Like, I need to be doing things, because you don't know, like, I've turned into a monster that needs to constantly do things, because if you cut away work thinking, okay, Manwara can have a break or rest, I'm only going to go and find something else to do. That's the danger.
Yeah, I hear you on that one.
Yeah. So anyway, I really am so grateful that both of you found time today. We've been talking for
thank you for asking. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for asking us.
Yeah, no, it's been lovely.
Thank you, Manwara. Anything for you.
You could always write up a grant for us if you like. We won't say no.
That's the joy. That's the joy of support, where you feel safety. In Hippo's words, the safety net. The safety net gives you so much confidence inside you that you feel like no matter how, whoever attacks you, you're like this. I'm like this. I'm tunnel vision, right? I have a focus and I want to do it. And lots of people might say lots of negative things. I just brush it aside and ignore it, because I think you can't see my vision. You don't know where I'm going. So you're going to guess and you're going to get it wrong. But wait till I get there, because when I get there, I won't have to say anything, because my actions will reveal and you'll see it. So you guys with your women's network, you've got another year coming up. You've got your AGM coming up. Exciting. How can people get in touch with you?
Oh, there's so
Anybody
many
who's
ways.
listening.
Saiba's saying there's so many ways. Saiba, go on, you say.
So you've got Instagram, WF_women. You've got Twitter. You can message us via Twitter, Facebook, Messenger, email, which is info.wfwn@gmail.com. You know, yeah.
Yeah, so we're on Facebook as well. So if you just, you know, search Waltham Forest Women's Network, you'll see our pink and black, you know, I wish I had it here now. I can't even bring
your branding, your logo.
Badge. Put your badge on there so they know what it looks like, the logo. So everything's kind of pink and black looking. And oh, here we go. We've got our annual report there. Isn't that lovely? That was last year's one. And yeah, so you'll see that logo, WFWN. Please, everyone, welcome. Everyone's welcome.
And you have a new person on board as well.
We do.
We do. We've hired someone 3 days a week as a development. I know, like, oh, I can breathe a little bit now. Development worker for Waltham Forest Women's Network, who's going to work 3 days a week and hopefully develop the network. So basically, like I was talking, strengthen the foundations, make sure everything's there, make sure that if we are able to get volunteers on board, that they've got proper training, you know, that we're able to communicate with everyone properly, get, you know, more regular. We got Bolyx and yoga classes weekly that are free for women. We want to do more. We want to do more for women, because those women that come to them, you know, they want to do more, and we can't afford it at the moment. But we are hoping that the development worker will, you know, make us go onwards and upwards.
Well, I mean, just those sessions, we have women that look forward to just having those sessions every Friday, and it's like, wow, you're making a difference in someone's life. They're looking forward to that session in a positive way. You think that's great, you know, just like in social prescribing, where we're always trying to signpost people and introduce them to new things and stuff like that. It's the same, especially some people, they're isolated at home, and that Friday session is a way for them to chat to other women, meet other women, because after the session we might have a little bit of a chat, you know, and obviously that exercise is all good as well, and the yoga and all of it. It's such a positive experience.
So you've got is it Sarish, what's her surname?
Iftikhar.
So Sarish, I know she's a connection on LinkedIn.
She was going to join today. I think she might have forgotten, but she was like, I'm going to join. I'm going to watch you guys.
So Sarish is the impression I get, like somebody who has huge potential, and I think she will be fabulous for the Women's Network. She will really add so much value. But I think, Sarish, when you do listen to this, you're going to be surrounded by a nice, warm, lovable blanket of women. Yes, they will be your bosses and they may tell you what to do, but they are all really good women that are extremely passionate about what they do. So I know if I were in Sarish's place, because I've often gone into jobs not because they pay me well, but because I feel passionate about it. So you are going to be joining an amazing organization, or you have joined an amazing organization, and I look forward to hear more through you, Sarish. And we're going to finish now, but thank you to everybody who's joined us today. It's been wonderful to have you here and to listen, and particularly Hibo, I know you are super busy most of the times, so it's really lovely to have you here. Thank you, Ria and Rukeya, Mehmet, for joining us at the beginning, and anybody else who listens afterwards. I hope you find something inspiring, something to take away from this session today, and do give us comments, because we love comments. Any good feedback or even anything critical really helps me in the future for future sessions. Thank you very much, and hope everyone has a really good evening. Thank you, Farah, Saiba. See you soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Take care. See you soon.